My friend, welcome back to the channel. So this is episode 2 of the solo podcast thing that I'm doing, and I've decided to do one of these a month from now on. So it's going to be more of like a slower, sort of more laid back, more conversational moment between you and I, where I can just give you a little bit more insight into what's been happening on the channel, what's been happening in my life, and kind of what's been happening as I've been building up this awesome, cool, sustainable business that I've been building over the last 9 months. So this is month 9. So I'm going to just give you a little bit of an update of where I've been, because the last month has just been absolutely insane. It's been kind of monumental for me, to be honest, because everything that I've been working towards over the last sort of 8-9 months sort of pivoted to a moment where everything just started to really work out. So I'm going to tell you all about that and let you know where I'm at, where I've come from and all that sort of stuff. And again, this is just an opportunity for me to just invite you a little bit deeper into my own story and all that sort of stuff. So yes, I will be talking a little bit more about myself today, and this is just purely to create more of a more connection between you and I. So all the videos that I create on my channel, they're all offered in a way to take you through some sort of micro transformational experience where I can, take you through a small conflict that you may be having, or take you from confusion to clarity. So all my videos are always aimed at helping you through this process as you move through this mad sort of like complicated space of trying to build up an authentic online presence through long form YouTube. So today I just thought like I would just offer a little bit more just a little bit more of myself. So if that's something that you're after, awesome. If not, you don't have to stick around for that. If you just want some like actionable advice or something like that, that's not what I'm going to be doing today. But I think some of the insights that happen behind the scenes are often even more valuable than just like 3 steps or whatever it is that, that we might be doing in this space. So for those of you that might be, new to the channel, maybe this is your first video or you've watched a couple before, I'll just give you a little bit of an intro to what's been going on. So I started this channel 9 months ago, and I posted the first video towards the end of January. No subscribers, no views, completely brand new channel. And the idea was that I was going to completely build this audience from scratch organically. No ads, none of that sort of stuff. I haven't shared this channel anywhere outside of this community. So I think we're coming up to 19,000 subscribers now. So all of that has happened completely organically. So I'm very stoked with the progress that's been happening. And this has happened through my approach, my unique approach, which is, you'll probably find it's different to what you're seeing out there in the wild sort of YouTube landscape, where I've been trying to, show that we can do things slightly different. We can slow things down. We can, give more of ourself, bring more of our own unique experience into the space. It's not all about information. From my perspective, it's all about insight. And the difference between information and insight is information is words in a book, information out there in the world, on the internet, whatever it may be. And insight comes from direct experience, from living through something, going through some sort of transformational experience, the conflicts, the highs, the lows, all that sort of stuff, and then getting onto the other side and then having some insight that you can offer, which comes directly from you. So this is a process that I've taken from this channel, and this is really what it is that I'm offering, to you, being able to show you or guide you towards understanding how to do this yourself, because the people that I'm generally attracting into this channel are mission-led. I'm on a mission to empower this new wave of creators to drive real impact in the world, because I recognize that the world is pretty weird right now, and we just need more and more people like you that have got something valuable to share, some sort of insight to be able to offer, to be able to help make tiny changes in the world, and then together we can really begin to kind of create real impact. So that's my mission. If I can do that, awesome. And the way in which I've been doing it, the unique way in which I do this is taking everything that I've done in my life, 20 years of experience in the film industry, working as a director and a cinematographer, where I've had the honor to tell some pretty awesome stories, about all kinds of people from all different backgrounds and all walks of life. And throughout that time, I've learned how to to master the craft. Oh, I say master, I don't think anyone's a master in this world, to be honest. I don't think there are masters. I think we're always students. So, but I've had 20 years of being a student in learning this craft of how to tell stories, how to film stuff, how to light, how to frame things up, how to structure things, how to present, on camera so that your raw, honest, authentic self can come through. So I've taken all of that sort of stuff that I learned in the film industry and I've pivoted over into this educational space on YouTube to be able to help you take your message, take your story and drive real impact and give you all the tools that you need in order to do that. So all the stuff that I've done here, like if you look at what it is that I've done, you've clicked on this video, you are now watching it and you can see what it is that I'm doing. So I'm here to help you. I'm here to drive impact in your life, to help you move through this process so that you can go from confusion to clarity and give you a complete system to do that. So that's what I've been doing. That's my mission on this channel. That's what I've been building towards. And it feels real good. It feels really, really good. And I'm super stoked to be in this position and to kind of see just how quickly this whole thing has grown. So I just want to say thank you to all the people that have been showing up over the months and tuning in. And I know many of you have already joined my school community. If you haven't joined it, it's called The Really Real. I'll leave a link in the description below, so come check that out. And yeah, it's been awesome in there. So hopefully I'll get to see you in there. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. It's like I'd love to hear from you in the comments about how it is that you ended up, tuning into this video, into this channel. What are the things that keep you coming back, and where are you on your journey? Let me know if there's anything in specific that you feel like you want to ask, any questions or anything like that, and I'll try and address those in future videos coming up. And I'll also try and respond to all of you in the comments as well, because this isn't. I don't want this to be a one-way stream. That doesn't make sense. This is all about creating connection. It's about creating relationships. It's not about metrics. It's not about views. It's not about subscribers, because if those views and those subscribers don't turn into connection, into relationships, what's happening here? It's just a dude talking to a camera with no real impact, nothing going on. So let me know where you're at, and if there's anything I can help you with or anything like that, let me know in the comments. So yeah, so the last month things have really stepped up for me. It's been an incredible experience where I feel like I've had a metamorphosis. I mean, the last 8 months has been a complete metamorphosis for me. So I never imagined myself in this space, being a educator online, it's just not something I ever saw. I could never imagine myself putting myself on camera even, as a filmmaker, somebody that's always been behind the camera. I've always told stories and always been driven by my goal as a filmmaker is always to drive impact, to break stigmas, to kind of show that there are different ways of living, and to have to show that, to showcase that through the lens, not through me on camera having a little chat. It's always been through, telling the story through images, through storytelling. So yeah, I never imagined to be in this position, but it was through this very difficult time where my work started to slow down, and with a family to support, I can just wait for things to kind of get better. So I was like, cool, I need to find a new opportunity. And when I saw this opportunity, it landed on my lap, and I was like, this is where I need to go. I was seeing a lot of people doing incredible stuff online and driving real impact through building an online presence and changing people's lives. So I was like, cool, I know this is what I have to do. I can feel it in my heart. I can feel it. I've just got to do it. I've got to move into it. And I know this is going to be the thing that is going to take me into the next stage of my life. But I had to move through a lot of internal conflict, a lot of limiting beliefs and all that sort of stuff to just get to the point where I was on the side of the camera. But I'm so stoked that I took that step, because again, like right now, this whole thing has just moved so quick. And over the last 8 months, my life has completely changed. And again, I'm going to get into that and tell you exactly what has been happening. So I'll just give you a little idea of what my plan was with this channel from the start. I was like, cool, I'm going to build this channel from scratch, and I'm going to make a video every single week. First thing I did was I went absolutely nuts, and I thought I'm going to make 3 videos a week for a month and do 12 videos in a month, and then just like kind of smash this algorithm, just kind of get this algorithm working. And it worked. I managed to build up quite a decent audience just within the first month, which was really cool, to kind of see that happen really fast. And, a lot of people started tuning in. So I could feel that I had something to share. And the idea from the start was to do it like this. No graphics, no music, no nothing, just you and I having a chat. Because like if this works, if I can build an audience, if I can get people to hang around and watch a video, a long form video, just by hanging out and having a little chat, then the value is right here between you and I. You know, the value is not, it's not being, elevated through tricks, through music, through this, through that, through different things that you can do to create more emotion. I was like, I want to be able to do what I can just by having a conversation. And I know this is difficult, so I'm not saying that this is what everyone should do. This is a place that I've managed to get to in my life. And really this comes from the past that I've had leading me up to this point, where again, like, it's easy for me to make a frame like this, to light like this, to get good audio, all that sort of stuff. Speaking on camera was a totally new thing, but I've worked with so many people over the years as a director, helping people feel comfortable on camera. So I've just taken that knowledge and applied it to myself. So the learning curve for me was a lot quicker to get myself into a point where I felt comfortable doing this, where I could just speak in a way which is normal and real and natural for myself. So it's not something that I'm like, yeah, just do this, just do it, because I understand it's difficult. It's very difficult to do many of these different things that I've done just to kind of get this image, this vibe, this experience. So, but this is kind of what I'm hoping to help you through, to give you the tools to get closer to getting yourself into a position where you get more and more comfortable, with doing all this sort of stuff by understanding yourself, understanding your origin story, the transformation experience that you've been through, because that's essentially what you're offering. If you're helping somebody move through something, you're helping them move through a transformational experience. And the only reason you can help them is because you've already been through that. So you're offering your own transformation because you know all the steps to kind of get through all of those difficult moments to get to the point where you are helping your audience move towards that desired outcome. So if you haven't been through it, then you're more than likely doing it from information. You're taking information that you found out there and sort of like making it your own and then just delivering that. So what I'm talking about here is more speaking from insight. So you've been through the experience. You understand it. You understand it so intimately. You understand the pains, the struggles, the celebrations, all that sort of stuff. So you can speak directly to your audience from that space in a relatable manner where they know that because they can feel it. Because you're speaking with empathy, you're speaking with compassion, you're speaking with understanding. So this is what it means to guide somebody from insight, from lived experience. So yeah, so for me, it's like the way in which the way in which I have set everything up, my channel, my program, and all that sort of stuff, is to empower you to really understand yourself more deeply, to understand your origin story, your transformational story. So you can understand directly who it is that you're speaking to, so that every single video you're speaking clearly, directly, with empathy, with compassion and understanding to your one human, to your tribe that you're trying to help move through this transformation. So yeah, that's essentially what's been happening here. So I don't know where I am right now because I've just been a little slightly sidetracked, but that's the nature of these nice long sort of random podcasty type of episodes. The mind may move around, go into different branches, but I'll find my way back. I'll figure out where I was at. But yeah, so essentially, like over the last 8 months, I've been setting this whole thing up, making these videos, speaking directly to you, trying to help you move through this space. And I'm not doing it from a place of like, I don't want to be like the guru here. We're all in this together. Like I said, there's no masters. There are only students. We're all constantly growing, moving through this space, in the trenches together, trying to figure it all out. I may just be slightly further ahead because of the experience that I've had. So you're more than likely here because you've seen something that I'm doing that you like. Maybe it's the framing, maybe it's the lighting, maybe it's the audio, maybe it's the delivery, maybe it's the thumbnails, the titles, maybe it's the message, maybe it's that you can see that I'm speaking from insight and not from information. But there's probably one of those types of things that's attracted you to this channel, to what it is that I'm doing. So I'm here to help guide you towards doing a similar sort of thing. But like I said, like I've had a lifetime of experience that got me to the point where I can do this. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like if you just do the next 3 steps, whatever, it's all just going to like come together. This is a process. It's a process like anything in life, any new industry that you move into or a new profession that you're trying to learn, it takes time, and I think there's too many people out there. There's too many YouTube gurus that are kind of telling everyone that if you just do this and you follow the steps, you will blow up. And it's just not the case. It's the reason why 95% of channels just don't make it, because it doesn't happen overnight, So I think we just need to be, if we're moving into the space, we need to understand that it is going to be a journey, and there are a lot of different things that you need to learn in order for this to work. So that's what I'm here to do. So I'm not here to say like, cool, just set up your camera and just like do exactly what I'm doing, because it's taking some time to get here. But what I'm saying is just take the first step, towards getting closer and closer and closer to get yourself into a position so you can set yourself up in a way like this, so you can drive impact to your ideal audience, to your tribe, to your one person that needs you the most. So basically the idea for me was to set up the channel, make 12 videos in the first month, and then back down to one a month after that. So I've been sticking to that to an extent. I've had some weeks off here and there, but that's just because I've also been building up this business and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of different things that have been happening. I got family, I got all sorts of stuff. I also do film production, so I did have a few jobs as well along the way where I had to kind of take some time off and things like that. But essentially I've been kind of sticking to the schedule. And the idea was that the first phase for me was all about building. So just building, sharing, building, helping, giving as much guidance away as humanly possible, for free. Everything's been free here on YouTube. I built my school community where I've got 2,500 subscribers in there now. And I've been working with people one-to-one as well. So not loads, just taking people on, fitting people in here and there, and getting to know you, getting to know my audience, getting to know my tribe, and starting to understand exactly what it is that you are struggling with and what it is that's attracting you towards me, to kind of understand how it is that I can properly sort of serve you and help you along this journey. So I knew that I had an offer to start with. I kind of knew who I was speaking to and all that sort of stuff. And then over the last 8 months, I've just managed to refine it and kind of get more clear about what it is I'm doing here and who it is that I'm speaking to. And I got some really good advice earlier on, which is, I think, good advice for anyone that's sort of moving towards this. I'm not sure where you are on your journey, but maybe you're in the early phase and you're kind of like trying to figure out what your offer may be. The advice that I got, and I think the advice which stands really well, is to not be too, if you haven't figured out your offer, but you know who you want to speak to and you kind of understand the value that you can bring to that person, the transformation that you can take them through, just start making videos, helping them move through this journey, helping them move through this transformation. And then as you go, just start listening, start asking questions in the comments, speak to your community, get on calls, all that sort of stuff. Start to understand and speak to your person, to your tribe, because the more communication that you have, the easier it is to understand what what your tribe actually wants. And it's like, rather than you thinking that you know exactly what they want, actually getting real life feedback by posting videos, listening to the comments, building the community and all that sort of stuff. So that's what I've been doing for the last 8 months. And I got to a point where I could see my traffic was really good. I was getting ample views on every video, tons of comments, lots of engagement, community was building. I was like, okay, cool. People are digging this, you're starting to enjoy what it is that I'm doing. And people were actively reaching out, asking, do I have courses? Do I have programs? How can they work with me? All that sort of stuff. So I was like slowly building towards this, slowly sort of understanding what it is that I could bring. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, cool. I'm good to go. So at 6 months in, I decided I was going to launch my program. And so my program, it's called the Really Real Experience. I launched it a month ago, and it's been amazing. It's been such a beautiful experience where I've been able to work with an amazing community of people and help them move through this whole process, from origin story all the way through to, converting viewers into potential leads or clients, whatever it is that you want to work with. And it's just been awesome. It's been such a great experience to be able to meet a group of people that have been following this journey, for a while, and to be able to really sort of spend time, outside of these 10-minute little videos, to really spend time really working with people to give proper guidance and to be able to help shape their journey again, to empower them to drive impact in the lives of other people. So it's been really cool. And the whole process was like, I needed to launch it. So 6 months ago, I was like, cool, I need to launch this. I need to get it done. I need to get it done now because it's going to be a 3-month program and I want it to be done before Christmas. And so I was like, sweet. I hadn't done any advertising. So you'll notice I've never advertised my program on my channel, in any of my videos or any of that sort of stuff. I haven't done any sales. I haven't done any of that sort of stuff. And the only thing I did was, so before I actually launched the program, I partnered with a company called Stan Store. I don't know if you know them. They've been incredible. So I wanted to have like a really simple system to be able to create a sales page and a video sales letter and all that sort of stuff, and a way to send out an application form for people to be able to apply for my program. So I wanted to create the most simple system, so it's something that I could actually share that system and help other people move through the same thing. So the first iteration of this program is like trying to make it super simple. So anyone that's struggling with all the millions and millions of different things that you have to do to try and, like, I've been very conscious and aware of, like, how difficult it is to like learn all these things, because it's like if you're learning to build one of these types of businesses, you're learning multiple disciplines. Most of the time throughout our life, we've been shown how to learn one discipline. We go to school, and then eventually we have to kind of choose a subject. We go to university and we choose one discipline and we do that for the rest of our lives, and that's it. With this, we have to learn multiple disciplines. You need to understand how to do filming and lighting, how to speak on camera. You need to understand the marketing, the thumbnails, the titles, the graphics, then how to actually get leads, how to build communities, how to turn leads into clients, then how to actually work with clients, how to build programs and offers and all this sort of stuff. There's so many different things that you have to do. And this is all the stuff that I basically learned and got myself into a point where I could actually launch my program and actually work with people. So I've got a whole system in place, and that's essentially what it is that I'm offering to the people that are in my program, to my friends. I don't call them clients anymore. The way I like to think about this is they're only clients for like 1 hour. As soon as we make that transaction, we're friends. We've moved from I don't like to use those words. It's just like we're now in a place where we're friends that have mutual respect, that care about each other, and helping each other move through this process. So you'll see that I didn't do any advertising. All I've done is create long form content on my channel, letting you know who I am, letting you know how I can help you by literally just helping, just offering you help as I go through with every single one of my videos. There were no ads. I haven't had to do one ad or anything like that. I've had simple links in my videos, and the people that have found out about my program you just followed links to basically find out how to work with me. And the only explicit sort of like sales system that I had was I sent out 2 emails in the 7 days leading up to the program. So before I sent out those emails, I had already filled up the program with half of participants. So by the time I actually launched those 2 emails, the program was already half full. And that's what I did. I didn't do anything else. I didn't nothing. I didn't do any intense sales stuff, no crazy funnels, none of that sort of stuff. I built a very simple system, and the system is really based on making good videos, and being honest and treating my audience with respect, just offering as much guidance as possible with every single video. And that's it. So this is the YouTube channel it's kind of weird to say it, but it's essentially like the most incredible marketing platform in the world, and I don't like to use words like marketing. It's like, for me, as somebody who's more of an artist to an entrepreneur, like marketing has always been like so far down the list for me. If anyone talks about marketing, I'm like, that's someone else's job. But a YouTube channel, like the fact that we have this incredible free software online where we can just upload a video and project our ideas to the world is insane. It's insane. It's the most powerful thing. It's just insane. And I've obviously seen this in my own life. The fact that I haven't used ads, I haven't sent it anywhere. It's just I've been able to optimize. I don't like to use the word optimize because it sounds too technical. It's not technical really. It's just knowing clearly who you're speaking to and what their conflicts are, the struggles that they're going through, and the transformation that they want to move through, and knowing that you have the skills and the insight to be able to help that person move through that. And all you're doing is speaking to that person and you're helping that person. That's it. That's what optimization is. Before, optimization was so much around tags and SEO and search engine optimization and keywords and all that sort of stuff. And yes, this still can be helpful to give, the YouTube algorithm data points to know where, who it is that you're speaking to and what it is that you're trying to do. But ultimately, it really comes down to the content that you share in your video and the way in which you deliver it. So it's so much based around human behavior now. So if someone clicks on their video, if someone clicks on your video, they've usually clicked on it because in your thumbnail and your title, you've spoken directly to them and they've chosen your video over somebody else's. And then when they click on that video, the only reason they're going to stick around is if you've actually created some form of connection with that person where they feel like they want to stick around and listen to what you have to say. And that's it. It's human dynamics, normal human dynamics. It's not as complex as many people make it feel. It's not technical. It can be technical. There are a lot of technical things that you do need to understand, like how to film stuff, how to light things, how to get good sound, all that sort of stuff, how to understand, titles from a technical standpoint and an emotional standpoint. There are lots of different things like that we do have to understand and need to learn. But ultimately, if you're looking to drive impact, if that's what it is, if your strongest tool is your insight, is the actual value that you can bring from your lived experience, then everything else is you just need to learn the systems and you need to learn the skills to be able to make sure that you can get that insight out to the right person. And again, YouTube is the platform. It's literally a distribution platform for your ideas. And then the camera is a tool to be able to package that up and to be able to package up your ideas in a way you format in a way that makes sense, where you can actually take people through a journey with every single video. And you speak directly to that person, you help them. That's it. And then obviously you need to have a way to be able to take them off of YouTube into your own system so that you can speak to them more directly. Because obviously YouTube, the only contact that we have is in the comments. So you need to find a way to get people off of YouTube into another system, like a school community or an email list or whatever it may be. But yeah, so basically, I launched the program a month ago, 5 weeks ago, sold the program out. I oversold, and I went through a process which is basically like an application process where tons of people sent in their applications, and then I scored the applications based on how ready they were for this program, and then just got on a bunch of calls with people. And there must have been around 3 or 4 people that I actively told not to join my program. So I don't do sales calls. The calls aren't about trying to convince you to be in my program. The calls are for you and I to have a little conversation, have a little chat to make sure that we connect, because we're going to be working together for 3 months. So there's a vibe check that we need to do. And I'm not, my style is not to try and persuade you into doing this. My style is to kind of persuade you to look deeply, understand whether or not this is the right thing for you right now, because that's what I want. Those are the kind of people that I want to be working with. I'm not here to just take money. I want there to be a shared understanding that this is beneficial for both of us as we work together through this process. And I think this is a unique touch. I think most people, they get on sales calls and they'll do everything they can to make the sale, to convince the person to work with them, even if they can't afford it or anything like that. But I understand that we are going through a difficult time. Money can be tight. So yeah, for me, it's all about making sure that expectations are aligned. So if we're going to work together, that I feel like I can deliver what you're expecting from it, sort of thing. And if you're too far behind on the journey, and I think, okay, you're not ready for this, then I'll let you know, sort of thing. But essentially, my application form is used to do that. So it's kind of like I've got a really good sort of scoring system in place where I can decide before we even get on a call whether or not we're in the right place. So if you were one of those people that did apply and you never got a call back from me, it could have been one of many reasons, because I did get a lot of applications and I couldn't work with everyone, unfortunately. And there was sort of like a first come, first served basis as well. And so many of you were actually ready for this program, but I couldn't take everyone on because I didn't want to take too many people. I wanted to take 15 people for this first run, just to make sure that that it works. Not that it works, that I can cope with that many people. And then next time I'll actually be inviting more than 15 people into the program. But yeah, so basically sent out these 2 emails, got on a bunch of calls, and pretty much 95% of the people agreed to join the program. So now I've had the privilege of being able to work with an incredible group of people over the last month, where we work together live every single week, and we go through the entire process. And it's not just a program where by the end of it, you'll just learn like a bunch of technical skills about strategy and, like the actual process, the technical aspects of how to film and light and, all this sort of stuff. The way that I've designed this program is it's really sort of combining creativity and self-awareness together, so that you can, and the idea is that like, it comes from my own life, my own philosophy. It's heavily built into this sort of thing, that when we become more aware of our own self, our own journey, our own transformational experience, then we'll become more aware of our audience. So a lot of it is so much about, by the end of it, you'll understand the skills and the strategy and all this sort of stuff. But the aim is to kind of like get to the end of it and you feel like you know more about yourself. So it's a deeper experience. That's why we call it the really real experience. It's not just your standard sort of like YouTube sort of like growth program. If you want that, it's probably not going to be, well, you will get that, but in the program, there's a lot more. It's a lot deeper. I've got no interest in just teaching, about thumbnails and titles and all that sort of stuff. That is important. It's one phase of the program, but the whole thing it's so much bigger, so much deeper than that. So because I feel like my role here as a human being is to help you, to empower you, to drive impact, to help people, and change lives. And that is what I'm doing here. That's what I'm doing in my program. So it's not just about, sharing my knowledge on creativity and how to build a personal brand and long form content, all that sort of stuff. It's so much deeper. It's quite hard to explain, but the experience I've been having with my community has just been really cool. So that's kind of what's been going on. So I'm a month into it, and when I launched it, it was really wild. I kind of made so many mistakes. It's like I was fumbling all over the shop. And to be honest, those mistakes seem to work, for my tribe, because I spent a bunch of time sort of trying to perfect the email that I send out, to make you aware of my program. And I checked it, over and over again. I made this email, put it all together and all that sort of stuff, sent it out, and then realized I actually sent the wrong email with a wrong link. That didn't take you to my actual application form and, my sales page and all that sort of stuff. It took you to, I think, like my school community or something like that. So I was like, oh, it's so stressful, man. So that was one of many bumps along the road. But I immediately sent out another email just to say like, okay, cool. I probably messed up the most important email I've ever sent. And gave like a little bit of an explanation. Also kind of said like, this is it. This is the really real. This is what we are. We're human beings. We're flipping flawed. And we're all bumping around in the dark trying to figure shit out. But that was that was my first little fumble, with the program. But the cool thing is I kind of sent out the second email. I'll let you know what was going on. And I got a bunch of responses from people just saying like they actually preferred it, that I made a mistake. They preferred seeing the human error, because I think it reminds us all of ourselves, because I think we all think that other people have got it all together, but no one's got it together. We're all just we're all just trying to figure out, most of us just trying to pretend our way into it. So I think it's awesome when we get to show these these issues that we have along the way. So you got that email. That's what happened. But so that's pretty much been it. So the last month I've just been focusing quite heavily on the community, on the program. You would have noticed last month I didn't release any videos. It's like a whole 4 weeks I went by without doing anything. And last week I managed to put 2 out, and obviously I'd put this one out this week and stuff like that. But one of the struggles that I have noticed is that up until this point, it's been quite easy for me to put a video out every single week. But now that my focus is so much on this awesome group of people, these new mates, it's been more difficult to like focus on a video a week. So this is just something that that I'm needing to sort of like elevate, in my own sort of day-to-day strategy. Because if I'm not posting videos, nothing's going to happen. This whole thing, everything that's happened has happened because I've been posting a video every single week. So I need to keep doing the one thing which really works at building this whole thing up, which is attracting my tribe, building up my audience, bringing people into my community, and then potentially, leading, some of those people into becoming clients and friends and all that sort of stuff. So the making a video every single week is super important. Now I've just got to try and figure out the best way to slot it into my week while I'm sort of focusing so much on actually helping the people now that are closest to me. So it's really difficult, but all good. I'm getting into the flow. But that's it. That's about it, really. I'm probably going to wrap this up here right now because I've actually got a one-to-one that I've got to jump onto now. I'm actually not even sure what the time is. Shit. I got to go. I'm late. All right. I will see you. Shit.